Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by today. On the turntable, we're taking a closer look at Mattel's brand new Masters of the Universe Revolution figures, the Masterverse 2.0. We're looking at Skeletor. This is one of the most unique versions of Skeletor that I've seen in a long time. Very cool aesthetics. He looks like he jumped off the Netflix series animation cells, and he's in action figure form. Very impressive looking figure, but does he hold up to how good Battle Armor He-Man was? We'll see in a second. First, let's take a look at the packaging. Now the packaging, just like that Battle Armor He-Man, beautiful artwork adorning mostly the majority of the box. You have a very small window here to showcase the figure. A lot of great artwork. You can see here you got the Motherboard Disciples, Skeletor in this new kind of enslaved techno-organic appearance. Very cool looking. You got a really nice shot of Skeletor here and that creepy looking face. Absolutely awesome. And then you got more shots here of the action figure. Some really nice glamour shots. Some of the features. You got the cross cell at the bottom, a little write up on Skeletor as well if you want to pause and read that. But yeah, this is some really nice packaging. Now, he is pretty light on the accessories, but you do get some accessories, not much. So we'll just move this out of the way for a sec. You got the clamshell here, black and red aesthetics. On the side, you do get that nice little kind of hidden spot for all of your accessories. And unfortunately, all you're getting is a fist and a crown. That is it. Not much going on here. There's no Havoc staff because that Havoc staff is built into Skeletor's arm. You do get this punching fist. Now, it's nice they didn't just repaint He-Man's fist into this color. He does have the nails, really sharp looking, really nice texturing to it too. It just has a really solid, good feel to it. A little parchment paper for just that fist. Kind of a waste, but that's what you're getting inside the packaging here. And let's take a closer look at Skeletor here. You also get the crown. I'm not going to spoil anything about what went down in that pretty cool animated season of Revolution. So please, no spoilers in the comments. Let's watch the show. It's been out for a little bit. Hopefully you guys have watched it. But you can put that crown on Skeletor to give him a different look. It's pretty nice. It's just a gold crown with a kind of a reddish pink jewel in the middle. It's not adjustable by any means. It doesn't have any kind of clasp or anything. It just slides right over. I think probably most figures from the series. It is a nice soft bendable material, so you shouldn't have too many issues getting it over any of the action figure heads unless you got some crazy Beastman noggin going on. But let's take a closer look at the action figure. The face sculpt is damn nice. It has some tremendous paintwork and details. I really appreciate the extra effort they put into that to make it look like Skeletor from that animated series. And yeah, Skeletor went through some pretty drastic stuff in that series. Some really awesome battle scenes with Skeletor and a certain villain, but man, this figure looks just fantastic from head to toe. I really like the robotic legs they gave him. He does have these kind of chicken legs. If you know what I mean by chicken legs, Starscream from the Transformers movies had those kind of chicken legs. These can actually bend backwards, forward. You can have some pretty decent articulation with them. They do have some nice sculpted work as well. A bit of kind of a sheen and metallic colors. It looks really nice. The way the cape, or kind of like the body cape here, dresses over the legs. It does inhibit articulation a little bit. It is a softer, pliable material, but it is going to get in the way, from getting a bit more range of motion on those legs. Unfortunately, that does happen. Sacrifice over aesthetics, I guess. But throughout the figure, he does have this really nice green paintwork, kind of like wiring and kind of circuitry going out throughout his body. And then you got this big, massive arm. This is the disappointment for me. This is the disappointment that brings this figure down a bit, because he does look damn awesome. It's a very cool looking Skeletor, but unfortunately, the Havoc staff is kind of blended into this arm, but you can see all the cool circuitry going on. Really appreciate that extra detail and work, but unfortunately, there's no articulation in this arm whatsoever. It does have a bit of give to it. I mean, if you really wanted to boil this and deep freeze it quick, you could probably get some sort of bend into it, but it is pure stuck in that position, that straight position. And it's a shame because you got some really nice detail worker on the Havoc staff with that more circuitry. You got this opening jaw as well. You can move it around a bit. You got a bit of articulation. You got 360 going on here, but there's no ball joint to move it up or down. You do have these really nice soft rubber goods to give it some extra detail and flash. But yeah, unfortunately, no extra movement out of that arm. What I really like too is the torso, how we have this kind of really cybernetic torso action going on his abdomen, the way the circuitry all blends into his chest. And again, this figure has a real high quality plastic. It's got an extremely good weight to it. The plastic is dense, it's not cheap, it's not hollow, it actually has a really good feel to it. And this one has that kind of matte finish as well, just like the He-Man had, so it's not a shiny, glossy look to it. But man, it's just a truly spectacular looking figure. We can look at the sculpted details and paintwork on that head. Absolutely awesome. Very, very cool. And this is very interesting too. It's going to be probably a one-off sculpt. You know, you use probably the arm, of course, some of the chest, and they reworked all this extra circuitry. But I don't think any Masters characters have these kind of legs. We're probably never going to see this arm used again into this capacity. So it would have been kind of cool if they added maybe an extra arm to replace this one, or maybe even a bendy one to give it just some articulation in that long, powerful looking weapon arm. That's the only thing that's really holding back for me. Otherwise, I really appreciate this figure. It looks fantastic. I really like this different take on Skeletor. I think next season is going to be pretty interesting. Hopefully it does get a next season. I think they will definitely get a next season because this was a fantastic season arc. Some really amazing animation. I think it stuck to more what fans wanted. It didn't diverge like so aggressively like the first couple seasons did. You just had a couple misses, unfortunately. But they really, I think, brought back the fans by giving us kind of what we expect from Masters of the Universe. Some really great action, some amazing storyline going on. And, you know, it kind of harkens back to the 2000X series. The 2000X series was absolutely phenomenal. I love that series. I still watch it on YouTube every once in a while just to get caught up and watch some great episodes of Zodak, the Snake Man, really delve into the other Masters like Manny Faces, Buzz Off, and give them a bit more character and texture to these great classic characters that we've kind of all grown up with. So it's very cool. I like what they're doing with the series, and hopefully they continue on. But this figure, pretty damn awesome, but a bit of limitation. So let's take a look at his articulation. The articulation, the neck does unfortunately have no side attitude. Can look up pretty good, can look down. It is inhibited by this collar here, but you know, articulation over aesthetics, so to speak. But man, it's just such an awesome head sculpt. I love the way they did the hood. It looks fantastic. You got the ball joint at the shoulder, the bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows. You got full ball jointed wrists, which you can swap these out and put a different closed fist hand in there as well. Now for the ab articulation, just like He-Man, he doesn't have a great range of motion. It's about far back as it goes and up. Does have the twist at the waist, the ball joints at the hips. This waist piece does inhibit the articulation a bit. He does have actually like full 360. You got a spin here as well at the thigh cut. You got another spin here at the kind of knee joint. And then these go back 360 up. You do have articulation in these gnarly metallic General Grievous kind of toes and feet. So you have full range of motion there as well. The head spins on the Havoc staff. The jaw opens up as well. But unfortunately, you don't have any articulation in this massive piece here, this cybernetic piece. I'm sure we could probably pop this arm off and do some customization work, but it's going to be a little difficult to try and find a perfect match, or you're going to have to repaint this entire purple area of Skeletor's torso. But I'm really impressed with this figure. I do like it quite a bit. Very neat aesthetic. Unfortunately, that arm does bother me quite a bit, but let's bring in the other Masterverse Skeletor. This was that new Eternia version of Skeletor with that Viking kind of motif going on. I really Love this Skeletor. This is my go-to classic Skeletor. I mean, it's about as perfect as you can get for a classic OG kind of Skeletor. There is a big height difference, though, between these two. But you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, if you look at the height difference, it's pretty drastic. But this could almost be like, you know, a future version of Skeletor or a minion of Hordak or Motherboard. Whatever you want to kind of dress that up as. But you got this really nice, really classic looking Skeletor. I did do a little bit of custom work on this Havoc staff. It was just cast in a purple. I didn't like it. Added some silver, added some gold to it, just to give it a little kind of nice touch. But yeah, these two guys look great together. I really, really appreciate this figure even more now, this classic OG Skeletor. Just an awesome figure. Hopefully, well, I'm going to say hopefully, I'm pretty sure down the road, we are going to get a more classic OG Skeletor with this new body buck. So wouldn't be too worried about it, guys. We're definitely going to get another Skeletor. Another figure that kind of goes with this one here, we got Trapjaw. And man, there's a big height difference between these two. This is an OG Trapjaw. Very nice looking Masterverse Deluxe release. I remember picking this up at Target on a trip to the US. I picked it up for about $8. Picked up 2 of them because I definitely want to keep one in the Disciples of Motherboard kind of motif, which it has. It was really cool with these deluxe figures of this one and Triclops, where they had the extra accessories and cloth goods to make them Disciples of Motherboard. Very cool. Now we do have that brand new Trapjaw, which I'm going to compare this one with in an in-depth review. But I always liked this one. The body buck was fantastic. All the paint work was really nice. Only thing I didn't like was this head sculpt. It just looks so goofy. Like, when you pull this down, he just looks like he's sticking out his tongue, and he's like something from the Turtles or something. I don't know. Just didn't like it. Keep this tight and closed. But, yeah, pretty darn good-looking figure otherwise. So another figure I want to compare it with is kind of a big boy from the Masters line, and that is this big guy here, Tuvar Badra. They look fantastic. And of course, this was a really big deluxe figure, loaded out with tons of weapons. So we do have that nice height difference, which I would expect. Too Bad is a bigger character. It suits in well with the scaling for these guys. Another figure I want to take a look at with this Skeletor, this version of Skeletor, is Beastman, his loyal henchman. I love this Beastman. This is definitely, hands down, my favorite version of Beastman. Came with so many accessories, this deluxe version. Still available at Canadian retail. If you go into Toys R Us, you might be able to find a couple still hanging on the pegs. I love this figure. It came with that kind of furry shoulder armor and chest armor, a headpiece as well. Very nice figure. And you can strip this down. I kind of prefer the classic look in this one, but you could go a couple different ways with this Beastman, and it's just spectacular. I love the way this figure looks. And again, this Skeletor is a big boy. He's, you know, almost on par with this version of Beastman, which is a deluxe figure. And then I want to bring in another figure here that I truly like for a lot of reasons, but this guy, Fakor, I don't know how much love he got in the Masters community. You know, it's a different take. It's not that blue-skinned, kind of purplish pink armor version. With the orange here, it does look cool. I'm glad I do have it in the collection. Came with a lot of great accessories. If you needed an extra power harness for He-Man, you got one. You got the sword, shield, 3 different heads as well. One of them, of course, is on my custom kind of traditional He-Man. This hairpiece, this head swerg is just fantastic. Got to paint the eyes blue because he has red eyes, but man, it's freaking awesome. I absolutely love this version. So to see these two guys together, the sculpt work on this Fakor is fantastic. The way they have the cutaway pieces of skin with the robotic skin underneath looks amazing. Really cheap right now too at Toys R Us here in Canada. My Toys R Us had them for like about $14 to a couple different prices, from like $14 all the way up to about $18.96 or $18.93 or something like that. Totally worth getting. Got 2 of these. I'm going to be doing some custom work on one of them for sure. But yeah, it's just a really nice looking figure. Some of the standouts from the first kind of couple waves of the Masterverse figures. Now I do want to bring in a couple DC figures, DC Multiverse figures, and see how they kind of pair up with this Skeletor. And one figure I thought that would be very cool if these two guys teamed up to take down the multiverse, and that is Brainiac. I love this version of Brainiac from Injustice 2. He is so damn cool. Head sculpt is amazing. The body articulation, the styling, the details, everything is so good except the paint. The paint has this dull, lackluster silver. I am so tempted to pop some silver metallic paint on this figure. Unfortunately, he's very hard to come by. So if I screw up or something happens where, man, I just want to abandon that project, I don't want to screw up a figure, have another backup. So if I come across another one of these Brainiacs, I'm definitely going to do some custom work. But I think these two would look great against Superman and He-Man, or Superman and Batman against these two. You never know what's going to happen in the multiverse here, so to speak. And speaking of Batman, I want to bring him in to see how he's going to look with Skeletor. Now, this Batman is from Dark Knight's Metal with the Jim Lee sculpt head style, or excuse me, let's try that again, with a Jim Lee head sculpt to just give it a bit more of a different look. These two pair up quite well. They're close and similar in height. This is a really big looking Batman. It is definitely taller in stature than most other Batman figures from the DC multiverse, but I think these two guys look really good together as well. And then one last figure I'm going to bring in, well, actually a couple more, is this Injustice 2 Superman. So I like the way these two guys size up as well. They look great together. Evil versions of, you know, some of the baddies here of Superman. We got an evil, of course, Skeletor is very evil. But damn, these two guys look fantastic together as well. Suit each other, works well. And then I want to bring in, of course, the He-Man from this series. And we'll see how these two guys size up. So this is the Battle Armor He-Man with the harness that's included. And these two look still pretty good together. He-Man does sit a little bit taller, which I'm okay with. I think it's fine that He-Man is just a slight bit taller than these two. They do look good together. They're going to look great on a shelf. You got this really different take for Skeletor. Near the end of the Revolution series, we did get a different take on He-Man, a brand new stylization for him. I desperately hope we get that figure, hopefully down the pipeline. I'm pretty sure we are going to see it. Hopefully it's not going to be a collection or a Comic-Con exclusive or Mattel.com exclusive, which would kind of suck since they don't ship to Canada anymore. That would really suck for me, but hopefully we get that figure down the road here. So there you go, guys. This is one of the most unique versions of Skeletor. Beautiful sculpted details, excellent quality and craftsmanship for this figure. Only thing holding it back is that arm. Definitely needed some articulation or a swap out arm to make him a bit more normal looking. But overall, this is a definite hit again. I do prefer the Battle Armor He-Man a bit more right now, but we got some more figures to review still, so we'll see how these size up. And I think at the end we'll do a kind of an overview of all the figures and kind of rank which was the best from, 1 to 6 that I have so far. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We got a bunch more reviews coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for that, guys. We'll see you soon.